All right, hello. I am here to talk about a very bad habit of mine. Yes, I have this very bad habit, or should I say had this very bad habit of like nearly maxing out my storage. Usually I'd leave at around 5 gig or so left, like for stuff to happen on the smartphone, but usually, mostly, if I had a 64 gigabyte phone, I would use it all the way up to 59 gig storage space. If I have a 128 gig smartphone, I would be using it all the way up to 120. Yes, I did that. That is a very bad habit. So why is that? Let's find out. Now, a lot of us cannot help it, especially those of us who do not have PCs or hard drives, to store stuff, right? So mostly we generally have everything that we have on our smartphones for the most part, and not a lot of people use cloud storage, even though it's available. Yes, true that. But the point is that a lot of us save most of our data on our smartphone, and over time, our data requirements, storage requirements rather, are getting higher. I mean, once upon a time, I was very happy with my 128 megabyte SD card. No, seriously, it's over there. Let me get it for you. Seriously, it was this small. And then, suddenly 128 megabytes wasn't enough. And then, 512 megabytes, 1 gig, 2 gig, 8 gig, and now 128 gig is not enough for me. Yes, so now that we know all that, now that we do, why is it bad that you should never use your storage up to that point where you have just around 5 gig or 10 gig free that you are using to delete stuff and save stuff and delete stuff and save stuff, read and write. Well, first off, let's talk about what is called wear leveling. So wear leveling is a technique that is designed to extend the life of your SD card, because not just your SD card now, your storage, generally speaking. I picked up an SD card and now I'm saying SD card. I meant storage. So yes, every time you save something, that is, you write to or you copy something from your internal storage, that's read, it gets a little bit older. Why? Because generally your storage uses a type of technology called a NAND flash, which uses a charge trap memory cell in order to be able to trap your data in forms of charge. Now, obviously, those people who know about data, a single bit of data could be a 1 or could be a 0. 1 single byte is 8 bits, generally speaking. So it could be in the form of 101111, depending. But the point is that for you to be able to save that byte of data with 8 bits, 101011, on your internal storage, the memory cell has to be able to save these charges in a way that it recognizes that I'm saving this byte. So it's 1, it's 0, it's 1, it's 0, it's 1, so it's going to save it like that. So if it's saving a charge, it's a 1. If it's holding no charge, it's a 0, and so on and so forth. So it's called a charge trap, meaning that it traps charge in order to be able to save your data quite all right. But over time, with more reads and writes over time, it gets increasingly harder for your internal storage to be able to trap charge. And if your internal storage is unable to trap charge, it means that whenever you save something to it, it is not going to be able to save it or hold it for very long. And obviously you understand how terrible that is if you saved something to your smartphone or you downloaded something only to go there and check and you cannot find it, or the system says file broken, file corrupt. It's going to hurt really badly. So in order to avoid this, there is a system put in place by many storage, could be eMMC, UFS, NVMe, SSD manufacturers have a system in place in order to prevent your storage facility from wearing out quickly. Now it does this by a technique called wear leveling, in the sense that it is going to like take note of all the memory cells that a storage has, right? It's going to take note of all of them. So if it's saved to, let's say, memory cell A, if it's saved to memory cell A for say 90 times, for example, and 100 is the limit, it's going to like, no, like we're aging this memory cell for too much, and we've used memory cell A up to 90 times, and we've not used memory cell Z or Z at all. So what it's simply going to do is that whenever you want to save something, it's going to make sure that you don't save to A anymore, you save to Z, right? So A stays there, and your storage is going to live for a lot longer, right? Very intelligent. So if it's saving, if it's used Z out to a point, and like, no, there's O, we haven't used O that much. So what it's done is that it's leveling the wear and tear of your storage, that it's spreading the load around to make sure that like every single cell is used, not that just that it uses. Because if it uses, for example, if it uses memory cell A all the way up to 100, for example, the entire storage is going to shut down and be write protected, meaning that you cannot be able to save anything to it. It doesn't matter if the 99 other cells, memory cells inside, are still free and are good to go. So long as one has aged and cannot really save data safely, it's the operating system is, and memory controller are going to be like, you know what, we're packing up this storage, it's done. So basically that's what wear leveling is. Now if you save stuff on your smartphone, let's say you have a 64 gig smartphone now, and you save stuff using all the way up to 60 gig, for example, and you only have 4 gig in which you add stuff, you delete stuff, you add stuff, you delete stuff, and like, I never have enough space, there's never enough space on this smartphone, I'm just managing the little space I have left, I have deleted and deleted and deleted everything, but there's only 4 gig left, and that's, you're basically just using only that 4 gig left, cutting stuff and deleting, adding in stuff, and so on and so forth. What you're doing is that you're going to be rapidly aging the portion of your storage that holds the 4 gig, whilst you have an entire 60 gig just sitting there doing absolutely nothing, whilst you are rapidly aging those 4 gig, the 4 gig area of your storage. So instead of the memory controller on your storage to simply we've used this 4 gig enough, let's save elsewhere. But if it wants to save elsewhere, it's going to find out that it's occupied by whatever you have on your smartphone that's occupying it. So it has no choice but to continue wearing out that portion that holds the 4 gig, which would then cause your storage to wear out even faster. Now, ordinarily, this storage is supposed to last for several years, probably even decades, and you may wear it out before its expected time of dying. And that's the first one. Secondly, you are going to be slowing down your storage, because obviously since it has wear leveling encoded in the memory controller, so the memory controller obviously wants to avoid saving to that area first, and they to go and start looking for other areas and finding all of them occupied before coming back. So like that process is going to slow down your card. That's one. Two, slowing down your card, your storage, your SD card, that's not only the problem, it's also going to slow down your phone as well, generally. Now with an SD card, you can simply take it out and your phone will speed up again. But with the internal storage, you could be looking at a new phone. And obviously, like the economic times that we live in, it's not very, very friendly. So seriously, you do not want to do that. Not in any sense, not at all. Seriously. So if you are the type of person like me who has their storage all the way up to here, seriously, start debloating your phone right now. Get rid of those movies that you haven't watched in months. If you've got tons of pictures in gigs, seriously, send them up to the cloud, or I don't know, get a storage an external storage facility like a hard drive or an SSD that's USB compatible with a file allocation table that your smartphone can read, and put it there. seriously, you've got to take excellent care of your storage facility, whether it's the one on your phone, EFS, UFS, sorry, EUFS, eMMC, or if you use an iPhone, NVMe, low power controller, or your SD card, or your SSD possibly, right? I don't think hard drives have that problem, but SSDs, yes, they certainly do, because they're all, like flash memory. And that's that for this video. I will be signing out now, and I'll see you in the next one.